Yeah, a question that comes up for me is why do you think we're so, I notice in myself, this sort of addiction to the story? It's like, I just love stories, you know? I mean,
Because, like Maharaj would say, you're still measuring yourself in body form.
oh, okay.
Without a body, there's no story. Without a body, you're. If you measure yourself in body form, then a story can be created based on that pinpoint that you've said is me.
Oh, okay.
But you are the formless. There's nothing. Everything arises on your spontaneous presence, and anything in form is illusion. So when in seeing that, you just remain with your selfless self. That sense of presence, you just keep diving into it. As Nisargadatta Maharaj says, remain with the I am. Go deeper into the I am and reveal all its secrets. And the secret is that you are noticing this I am. So therefore, you can't be that I am, which at one time you may believe yourself to be. But once you realize that the I am is also witnessed, that sense of presence, that beingness, that whatever you want to call it, is witness, then you know yourself in a real sense.
Right. And you don't get caught up in it because you know it's just a dream.
You can't, because there's no you in it anymore to get caught up. You
Yeah.
totally understand your position as this formlessness that has attached to form for whatever reason, for whatever, how it's going, and then you're not interpreting it as that anymore. You know yourself in a real sense when you're around other bodies, other people, whatever you want to call it. You know that it's all occurring inside yourself. Like we talked about before, if this kitchen was your selfless self, and John is appearing in it, and then Andrew came over, and you came over, and we all had coffee and tea and talked, all of that would be occurring in the bubble of illusion.
Right. Yeah, including whatever feelings came up or whatever judgment
Absolutely.
came up and all that other stuff.
Absolutely. And like Maharaj says too, without a body, there can be no questions. All questions are related to body knowledge, because unless you had body knowledge that you were using as an I am somebody else, there couldn't be a question arising.
Wow.
Questioning what?
Yeah.
Try to ask a question about your formless self. You can't, because the mind, see, that's the tricky key thing, is the mind only knows memory and what it's experienced. So it is experiencing form-based reality, which is not reality, but that's what the mind believes is reality, anything form-based. But you are prior to that. Mind, ego, intellect arise on your spontaneous presence and come along with the body. Therefore, the mind can only think and do in itself about body knowledge. Things to do with the form world that are not. And in remaining with your selfless self, that spontaneous sense of presence, if you know yourself as the formlessness, then the form just doesn't bother you or even you care. There's nothing. Like Maharaj says, you become totally unconcerned with the world because the world has nothing for you. The mind has nothing for you because it's presenting thoughts and ideas in form. It can't present anything formlessly. How can the form, how?
So the mind comes along with the body.
Yes. And can only think and act and do based on the body-based experiences that you're believing yourself to be having, that are just this recorder, this recording that's going on with this mind that's presenting these different thoughts and images based on the body you believe yourself to be. Once you totally understand your formless nature, sky, then any thought about anything to do with body, you're remaining with your selfless self as sky, so it can't have anything to do with you. That's the discrimination. And in using mantra and trying to remain with your selfless self, you will see all these things pass. They're all transient. And every time the mind starts to churn and present an idea to you, it's in form. It has to do with something about the body-based knowledge, which you know you're not. You know that body-based knowledge has arisen because of the belief in the body. And Maharaj has said many times, I was not body, I am not body, I'm not going to remain the body. Body is not my identity. So then anything that has to do with that body-based knowledge, who I am, what I've done, how I've acquired things, all that is just body-based knowledge. The formlessness can't do that, can't do anything. When you remain with your selfless self, or as Nisargadatta Maharaj says, you remain with I am, go deep, deep, deep into I am, then you will start to see that even this I am, this very subtle presence, is appearing on that you are.
And that's the knower, that you are is the knower.
The knowingness, the knowingness, yeah. But then it's a knowingness state of just like nothing. No reference points to anything else, because there's not a centerpiece anymore to say, okay, I'm here and all these objects are out there. Mm-hmm. It's objectless knowledge, like when you were in the womb.